The Finance Bill 2023 is no longer a bill anymore. It is now officially law because today it was signed by President William Samoei Ruto. What started by just an announcement on a Sunday in one of the churches in Donholm has now become something that will forever haunt Kenyans, especially the hustlers. This was a bill that Kenyans rejected because during the public participation, Kenyans had spoken unequivocally against it and said they were not ready for it now. Civil rights groups and civil servants unions went to the streets to protest it. But against all the protests, the Ruto regime coerced Kenyans with it, because members of parliament were threatened. And 184 members of parliament whom you elected to protect your interest voted in favor of this bill. Only 83, I think, voted against it. And that means that beginning today, this bill is going to haunt those who had thought that by electing William Ruto, the cost of living would come down. I have had people in the streets calling upon Raila to go to the streets. And tomorrow, Raila is meeting the disgruntled Kenyans in Kamkunji. And I understand that this is going to be a consultative meeting, not maandamano. From what I understand is that they invited Kenyans to give their opinions on what they think about the passage of this bill. And what is going to take place is that they are going to debate upon it and decide on how they are supposed to be governed, because they said that they cannot sit down and watch the regime torment the people who they are supposed to protect. So it's not a maandamano. And I think what is going to happen is that they will be saying that we don't want this bill. And then the next question would be, so what do we do? And I know they will be telling Baba, let us go back to the streets. If you go to the social media, there has been a lot of verbal war. There are those who supported Raila. And they are saying that Raila cannot present himself in every election year. And then those who are supposed to project him to power vote against him. Then when the regime that they put in place start persecuting them, then they call upon Raila to help them. Raila is not a ladder that is used when you want to reach your political apex. Then when things are bad, you now clamp down and you want to call upon Raila. And those who are supporting Raila are telling Raila, please don't go to the streets. And for a moment, even though I don't agree with this statement, there is something that I want to say. For a revolution to take place, for a government to listen to her people, the people must lead from the front. Because one question that people are asking, is it Raila who is standing with the people in the maandamano, or the people standing with Raila? Or how is it supposed to be? Is it Raila that is supposed to stand with the people, or the people stand with Raila? And for us to understand this question, let us answer this. Who is suffering? Who is going to feel the pain of the high cost of living, or who is already feeling the cost, the pain of the high cost of living? Is it Raila or the people themselves? It is the people who are supposed to lead from the front. Right now, they are saying that Raila should take them to the streets. But will they come out? Because Raila is only doing this in sympathy, because he understands that people are really suffering. In that finance bill, VAT on fuel has been increased from 8% to 16%. So that means that every other product is going to increase its price, because when you increase the prices of fuel products, then it affects the cost of production. And you know, production means from the time the goods are in the factory till they reach the consumer, and that means that all this burden is going to be passed to you and I. Raila can afford everything, and I've maintained on this platform that if it is the cost of living, Raila can afford. If it is buying basic commodities, in fact, he can buy and he can go beyond basic commodities to luxuries. His relatives can go to the best universities in the world. So when Raila calls people to the streets, let us not be hoodwinked that we or the people who are going there are going to destroy people's businesses and property. The housing levy is also contained in this bill, and that means that forcefully you are now going to be deducted 1.5%. The employer is also going to be forced to pay 1.5%, and that means that employers are going to start reducing their wage bill. They are going to retrench, because already employers are saying that the economic situation is so difficult that they cannot cope up with it. And this policy of overtaxing Kenyans is not only going to be very painful to ordinary Kenyans, but it is also going to drive away investors. And that means that even apart from the cost of living getting higher and higher, unemployment rate is going to increase further. Those who elected William Samoei Ruto, those who elected Rigathi Gachagua, must now be ready to defend him, because they were warned that this regime was going to be very, very burdensome on them. This regime, they were warned, would not take care of their interests. Because I remember when the Azimio fraternity led by Martha Karua called people to go to the streets, they had indicated that there is a lot of corruption hidden in this budget, in the hustlers' funds, what have you. And Ruto is only trying to make money, according to the Azimio, that there are certain money hidden inside this bill that will benefit just a few cronies in the Kenya Kwanza government. If the people resolve on one accord that they are going to the streets, then I can assure you that the government will listen to it. But if certain people are still going to play into the trap of Rigathi Gachagua, that you know the rich does not want you to have houses, let me tell you, we are going to see abject poverty, one that has not been witnessed in Kenya since independence. And we will understand that indeed choices have got consequences. If it means learning from this very cruel regime, so that in the next election we will vote with our conscience, not with emotions, then so be it. Because in the last election, what happened is that we voted with emotions, voting our tribesmen. And you are told that Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta, that Raila and Uhuru were the ones who are responsible for the ailing economy. And now the reality is out there. You can judge for yourselves. So ladies and gentlemen, the bill has been passed today. That means that you can brace yourself for tough times ahead. And who do we blame? We are co-authors of our own misfortunes, because when we are presented with an opportunity to elect leaders, we elect thieves, watu ambao wanatunyanyasa tu. I don't know what you think, but it has begun. The hustlers, let us brace ourselves.